Go, 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 shawty. It's your birthday. We gonna party like it's your birthday. We gonna sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fucking at the birthday.
Kalimera, Kalispera, where it's time you're watching. This is Mappa. It's someone's birthday, or it was someone's birthday. We had to do it. Thassos,
Yes.
now this is man.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Ευχαριστώ πολλά. Yep, it was my birthday yesterday. 26 years old.
What, 66 you said? Right?
66, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
Yeah. Very much. But yes, thank you. Thank you. We've got a third person here. What's going on?
We have a third person. Yeah, we dragged him in. We dragged him in.
Yeah, I was dragged. I was forced into this spot.
Kidnapped, thrown in the back of the car, bro.
And somebody in the back like tight.
Duct tape everywhere. Thassos, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, so our guest here, he's got his name down at the bottom left there, is Eleftherios. He is the team manager of Olympiacos Lefkosias. And yeah, he was the one that's organized the Olympiacos Lefkosias signed team shirt, presented very well by him there. That is forming part of the giveaway of the charity marathon podcast that we did the other week. So thank you very much, Eleftherios, for sorting that out.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. As I've said in the video as well, it's an honor for me personally as Eleftherios and for the club as well to be a small part of this, just a small part of this. But the congratulations deserve to go to the guys who organized the whole thing. I think that's the most important thing to say.
Yeah, Pedro and Stel did a lot of work for it. That's for sure.
Yeah. It was a team effort, as I said. Everyone that contributed, everyone. It was immense, and it's still going. It's still going.
It is still going, exactly. Now I'm pretty sure Stel has got some stuff to scroll on the bottom there, put in the comments and the rest of it to say what people can do to win, among the other things, that Olympiacos signed team shirt as well.
You know what? That's the one thing I actually forgot to do this evening.
Yes.
It's all right. It's here.
There we go.
It's fine.
Yeah.
There we go. So if you want to donate, the link is right here. It's in the description as well. And if you want to enter the T-shirt or the shirt competition, just email us your receipts, charity@nt-network.com. You'll be entered in the draw. We've got until the end of April. And they're still coming in. We've raised close to 6,300 euros.
Yeah. That's about it. Yeah. So it's going very well, but obviously we want more. Give us more.
Do you know? I was talking to Pedro about this the other day, and Pedro was a little bit disappointed with the amount we raised. I'm like, listen, we need to understand this. We had Signal Bempty, we had the Carnival, we had obviously other holidays in Cyprus, so people are less inclined to donate. So the amount that we may raise so far is incredible. And also, here's some perspective. I know there was a charity event in Buffer a few weeks earlier. Sorry? Did you say something, Thassos? No. Okay, no. I know that there was a charity event in Buffer a few weeks earlier, and I think they raised something along the lines of 25 grand. And we're talking about an event within a building with a lot of money, people with money and this and that. And we've raised practically a quarter of what they made. And we've done it with shorter time planning. And we've also done it online, for an event that's never been done in Cyprus before. I got in contact with the Guinness Book of Records. Unfortunately, our one wasn't a record. The record duration for a podcast is 55 hours. Now, listen, I'm game. I'm off anything.
We'll need to get more people on screen, more people like Eleftherios.
No, we don't. Just you two guys can go the whole 55 hours. I'm certain, 100%. Unless if Thassos has other stuff to do, like house.
No, I can organize it to not have other stuff to do.
Perfect.
Just make sure we've got the caffeine around, and I think we can do it.
Sugar as well.
Sugar,
yeah, loads of it. Get the Haribos out, innit?
Too much sugar. Let's go now.
So Eleftherios, tell us what you do at Olympiacos. What's part of your role, mate?
So as Thassos said correctly at the start, I'm the team manager of Olympiacos. Basically, my duties are the day-to-day operations of a football club. Like, for example, the team's out of water, I have to place a new order for 2 liters of water. If the team needs new balls because we've lost some balls, we keep some balls out of the stadium, we have to order new balls. The gaffer wants new clothes, we have to place an order for new clothes. And stuff like helping the footballers in their daily needs, because most of the footballers in Cyprus, as you all know, are foreigners. Mm-hmm. So they have to get around, they have to rent a car, they have to rent an apartment. And pretty much I'm responsible for all of those stuff. If someone needs assistance with a ride, I can help with a ride. Or maybe I can find a teammate that lives nearby to drive them to practice, like an event, wherever they want. But mainly what I do is be around the club 24/7. Whatever anyone needs, I'm the first man of contact. And basically I have to solve every given problem that there is. So until now, I'm in Olympiacos like for 2 months. We haven't had like a big issue yet, so that we don't have. But the biggest thing that Olympiacos has going right now is the battle for promotion. Mm-hmm. That focus of every single person working in this football club right now, or is affiliated with this football club right now. The battle for promotion, as you can see from the standings now in the 2nd division, it's close, man. It's close. I think it's as close as it's ever been. So 4 clubs, maybe 5 even, battling for these 3 spots. As some people will get heartbroken at the end. That's for sure, and I hope it's not us.
It's been a very long and hard season for, I think, all 4 of the clubs that are in with a good shout of getting promoted. Obviously, there's FC Krasava that have a small chance, and it's very interesting to see how the promotion race is going to develop. So yeah,
right on. Because the 2nd division is not a division that plays the best football. Like you can get the best talent. You can get clips and put them on YouTube, like skills and highlights of the Cypriot 2nd division. It's not that league. It's a harsh league. Similar to the championship in some sort, that you are not going to see the best of football, but the winners will prevail at the end. That's the thing. The teams with the better fitness, the mental mentality, and at the end of the day, the luckiest teams will get promoted to the Premier League and the Championship. Similar to here, I don't compare the 2 leagues in terms of quality, not even, but I'm saying we can get some similarities from the 2 leagues. Now, you can see in the standings, Omonia is top of the league in the 2nd division. Paralimni is 2nd, Aradipu 3rd, and us at the 4th place. Here it gets interesting because on Sunday we play against Aradipu away, and on Friday we've got Omonia against Paralimni. So some people's hearts will be broken by Sunday afternoon. And again, I really, really hope it's not us.
Yeah, because...
Go on, carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say that... Oh, sorry, there's a bit of background noise. There's 4 games left of the season. That's right, isn't it? So, yeah, the fact that there's 2 games of those 4 that are coming up in very quick succession, I'm guessing there's a few jumpy people around.
How do you mean by saying junky people?
No, sorry, jumpy. Like,
there are a lot of jumpy people around. Not only the jumpy that you mean, there are more than those jumping people around this division. Mm-hmm. Because of the fixture that's coming up this week, maybe everything can happen. I'm saying maybe because it can happen. It can happen. Even Omonia is on top table right now. We see the last 2-3 years, they've been there. They've been there at a similar level that we are right now, and they dropped. If Omonia keeps this momentum, they got like 5-6 consecutive wins right now. They're untouchable. But now they have games against Paralympic, Olympiacos, and Aradipu back to back to back. So even Omonia, in 2 weeks, they might be fourth. And Krasava is nearby. Krasava may be there as well.
Yep. So you mentioned that you deal with player requests, right? As one of your job roles. Are you able to divulge some of the stranger ones that you've received? You don't necessarily need to name anyone. You can just just say what it is.
It's not a strange one. It's a strange situation that happened recently. That the player needed to go to the hospital. He was really ill. He needed to go to the hospital. We went to the general hospital, like first aid, and we waited there from 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 12:30 at night with no one seeing us. And at 12:30, one of the ladies that were inside of the hospital, they came out and told us, for those who are still waiting, the waiting time will be at least 2 or 3 more hours. And we're like, fuck off home. Let's fuck off home. Fuck this shit. It's done. And then the next day he was feeling much better from this whole experience. We were together for like 7-8 hours like this, doing nothing. Nothing. It's not a strange request, but it's a strange experience. But it's part of my job. And I dealt with it, I think, pretty well because I knew it's a part of my job. I knew it's something that I had to do. So it didn't like upset me that much, let's say. But it's a strange situation to be in, especially at the time.
Yeah. So, Eleftherios, how did you end up with the role of the team manager? Like, how did you what kind of experience did you get to be able to get into the role that you're in at the moment?
So to take it further back, I am from Limassol originally. My parents live in Limassol. I used to live with my parents as of recently. My master's is on football, digital marketing, and communications. And I did my master's in Wembley Stadium in the university called UCFB, which is the place that I met a lot of wonderful people who are in sports and in football right now. A few of my classmates as well made it big time. And I'm going to highlight Emilios, the Greek YouTuber. He was a classmate of mine during my master's. And I came back to Cyprus with a dream to work in football, which is something that I always wanted. Football for me is something special. It's my whole life to start with. I'm not talking about, I'm a fan of this club, I'm going to support this club until I die. I support football. I'm a football fan. I watch every single game on the telly. That's a bit hypocritical now because the Premier League is on and I'm not watching it. But still, I try to keep track with every single league that's going. And I came back to Cyprus. And initially, I was accepted at West Ham for a role. As soon as I came back to Cyprus in 2021, I flew back to London, and I was missing one piece of paper of Brexit that was telling me you have the pre-settled status to visit, work, or rent in the United Kingdom. So I was deported back to Cyprus. The job was lost, and the next day I see on LinkedIn that a classmate of mine, female Greek, got the position that I was initially accepted. The next day, it took me a couple of years to get my stuff together. And I was working in a friend's bar. A guy approached me. We were speaking. He told me, what are your interests? Football. I know a guy from Zakaki. They need a team manager. Would you be up for that? Like, yeah, sure. I don't know what team manager is. I haven't heard like their responsibilities, what they have to do, what qualification they have to have in order to get the job. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. The job is much harder than I expected it was. I stayed in Zakaki from May until November to December. Some stuff came up that I couldn't hatch it any longer. I left Zakagi, and the player that was in Zakagi during the preseason was in Olympiacos, and he told me, "Yo, we need a team manager here at Olympiacos as well. Would you be down?" And here we go.
So yeah, I mean the kind of the experience of the IS. I mean, we've seen they're kind of going through the ringer at the moment. They're on their third manager of the season. They've been through a few players. So yeah, it's understandable that there's quite a stressful situation going on down there at the moment. But yeah, I think there'll be more questions that come up as we go through. Don't you think, Stel? We can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, all divisions are competitive, especially the second and third. I believe, anyway. I mean, you look at the third division. You've got teams like Abea. You've got all these other clubs as well. I mean, teams like Ormidia. They start off well, and then when it comes to the playoffs, they just seem to fall off. I don't know whether it's just some kind of jinx or something. I don't know. But then when you look at Division 2 and you see Krasava, who we know the story there, and then obviously Omonia Gosenia, who are top of the league, and a club that didn't want any foreign players, but then they brought in Yudi Gomez last season, and they almost got promoted then. And obviously Paralimni and yourselves, it is very competitive, that top six. But then throughout the season, I look at the other clubs that are there, and it makes you wonder why clubs like Bayek and maybe even, I don't know, Agrida, who were in the top division last year. What happens to these teams? I mean, obviously we know that their squads are decimated in the summer because players leave left, right, and centre. But is that the fundamental problem, or is it deeper than that, you think?
Because of the reason that the clubs are hurt financially, first and foremost, when they go down a division, a lot of players don't want to stay to this club because they see it with their own eyes. They live in the club. For example, myself, I go around the club 24/7. I'm there at every single training. I'm there in the office when I'm needed. If there is an event, I'm going to help set the stuff up for the event. I'm around the club 24/7. So myself, I can see what's going on in the club. And myself, I have a good experience, a good friendship with the players as well, a good relationship with the players. We exchange thoughts. They tell me stuff. I tell them stuff. Limited stuff, parentheses. But in the end of the day, the financial is the number one thing for those clubs, because the goal is to get straight back up. Like teams like Paralimni, Olympiacos, Salamina, Doxa, Nikos have done in the past, got down straight back up. Even Aris, in the good old days of Aris, did this plenty of times. Down, up, down, up, down, up. But
yo-yo clubs.
Yo-yo clubs, exactly, right on. Norwich. So these kind of clubs have stabilized their position as a first division club, in quotes, because when you think of first divisions, you think of Paralimni, you think of Aris, you think of Doxa. But other clubs haven't made it. For example, Akritas, Zakagi, which is the second time Zakagi is going to the first division. They haven't managed to do it. And even though Zakagi started the season really good, we had a fantastic preseason, like fantastic coaching staff. The board was backing us up a lot, especially in the first few months. This team started incredible through the season. If you remember some big games we had, like a win over Ike 3-1, a draw against Anorthosis in Papadopoulos, a draw against Omonia in Gasibi. There were like some shock results. And the thought that we had at the time that the team was going to have a good season. But unfortunately, thunder arrives, like winter came quick for us, and some stuff started going the wrong way. It wasn't like the fault of anyone, but how the system, how football is designed, especially in Cyprus, I think it's inevitable for some of those clubs to stabilize their positions up there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you and I spoke earlier today, Billy, for the viewers. And you mentioned the size of Olympiacos. Obviously, I'd say they're the third club in Nicosia. When you look at the managerial history, especially in recent times, you have Pedragi, Dudic, Janevski, and now you've got Bambo, who is a legend in Cyprus. Now we know that he got Ethnigo promoted last season, and then he left them to go to Olympiacos. Now, people would say, well, why have you gone a step back? But when you look at the size of the clubs, would you say that's the main reason?
I mean, I was going to say as well, Bambo has history with Olympiacos. It's not the first time he's coaching them. So, yeah.
Well, he was there in 2019, I think. 2019?
I think it's his third time in charge.
Yeah, possibly. Probably right.
So without knowing Bambo's story, I think one of the reasons could be this. Like he saw Olympiacos as a big opportunity, as a club that it's likely going to get promoted. And it's a club that they will stabilize their position in the top division if they go up. And Bambos knows the way. He's an experienced manager. Those divisions, the experienced players. And we were saying before the possibility of the club going up and not going back. Not going a top division, and if they don't go to the top division. We were talking about this possibility earlier as well. So you need experienced people in these leagues. You need people with experience. But on the same side, you need people who are young. They're going to get minutes. They're going to win you games. They have the excitement, that energy in them to prove themselves to a wider audience. Even though all the games are not televised, they can still show themselves. Like, of course, if there's a youngster on loan from Omonia to a second division club, a scouter will go watch his games. That's a certainty, 100%. And if this player plays well, he has a chance next year. In Olympiacos, we have a lot of young Cypriot players, a lot, who are fantastic, honestly. This is something that surprised me because I haven't worked in the second division before I came to Olympiacos. And we have some real players, honestly, some Cypriots, youngsters. We have a few on loan from Omonia, on loan from Apoel, and a few from Olympiacos, contracted to Olympiacos, who are real players. And they can play football in the future, I can guarantee that.
Yeah, that's a segue to my next question and my final question before we go into the reviews. You mentioned youngsters at Olympiacos from Omonia, one of them being Asimeno, who I remember him coming off the bench against Flora Tallinn for Omonia in a Conference League qualifier, I think it was, or Europa League, one of the two. And even as an Omonia fan, and even people like Roy, who I do no choftes with, we're like, who is this lad? I'll tell you what, for a 17-year-old, he came off that bench and it's almost as if he played 50, 60 games before. How's his development getting on at the club? Like
the certain player you just mentioned, the boy can run. Mm-hmm. He can run for 90-odd minutes. He can't stop. He needs to grow. Of course he needs to grow. He's 18, but he's a very good lad. He's calm. His feet are stuck to the ground. He's looking down. He's working hard. And similar to him, Zefkis, Pavlidis, I can mention names all day long of the young Cypriot players we have in Olympiacos.
Pavlidis from Doxa?
Yes, sir. Like real good players. And these minutes that they're going to get at Olympiacos, they are going to get benefited in the future. Of course they will. It's going to play a big part. It's experience. Football is an experience. When I was playing, I was a goalkeeper, for example. And I was on the bench for far too long, in my opinion. But I was on the bench. I didn't get the minutes I needed in order to play. And this is something that now, growing up, I can look back and say, you know what? Maybe one of the reasons that I didn't play football is that I wasn't getting minutes when I was younger. And these players are in the prime age now to grow.
Yeah.
They are getting minutes day in and day out. They are working hard with an experienced manager and more experienced players on the training pitch every single day. And the only way for them is up. This is something that they realize, the coach realizes, he is the one who picks them to play every week. And again, it's a win-win situation with those kind of players, especially if they come from a bigger side, they get loaned to a smaller club, let's say, they will get minutes, and the mother club will get benefited, as well as the club they're currently loaned.
Lovely. Well, we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully you get the victory at the weekend. Big game. And yeah, Division 1, you'll be on this is Mappa regularly.
Yes, sir. Goals.
Lovely. Right. Shall we go over to our review?
Let's do it.
It's a Group B party, boys and girls. The fun parts of the show. Othello against Doxa. 1-0 victory for Othello. Suter grabbing the winner. And Doxa, we thought, would have a chance of staying up. Well, they do. I'm going to go into that in just a bit, but I'm going to move over to Karmiotissa, who beat Salamina by 2-0. Goals from Tsugala and Bandeli. Good victory for Karmiotissa. They're almost safe, but I'm not going to say too much just in case I jinx it for them. Meanwhile, Bakenga scored the winner for Apollon against Ayes. We've actually got a Bakenga shirt in our prize draw. There you go. Cheap plug right there. Shameless. I'm absolutely shameless, but good victory for Apollon. Meanwhile, Ael drew 1-0 against Ethnigo. Babafodi giving Ael the lead before Stilianou equalizing, but the defending for the Ael goal, for the Ethnikos goal, tragic. But we're going to go into that one in a bit because I've got loads to say about that one. Tonight, believe it or not, I actually got some highlights from tonight's games, and Doxa beat Achna by 2-1. Cabrera, our guy, who's been on fire this season, gave Ethnigo the lead. But 2 goals, one from Trujic from the spot, a handball, which I think was pretty obvious there. I don't think anyone can really dispute that. Trujic with a wonderful penalty, putting it in the top corner, in off the crossbar. I love those ones. You know the ones that hits the bar and goes in? That's my kind of penalty. Absolutely beautiful. And the winner came from Velkovsky right at the end. So a good victory for Doxa. They still got a chance of staying up. They're clinging on for dear life. But I tell you what, it's going to be a fight, an absolute fight. And finally, Apollon beats Othello 1-0. Goals came from Spoljaric. The other game was Ael 0, Karmiotissa 0. Nothing to talk about. Nothing great there. As you can see, I'm bored out my head even talking about it. So, where shall we begin, Thassos? Shall we begin with that Ethnigo goal against Ael, where there was like 15 Ael players, and I'm including the subs as well, in front of that? That is tragic.
That is really bad. I'm pretty sure heads must have been knocked together after the end of that game. Like, get the Lucas to just go swing a few punches.
He's got to go MMA on people.
But yeah, it was really bad, wasn't it? There was comments from all sorts of people as well. Kind of once you brought it up on Twitter and Instagram, I think.
Yeah, definitely on Twitter for sure. Eleftherios, do you think there's a case of Ael's players have got nothing to play for, so they're just like, it is what it is. We're not going up. We're not going to be in Group A.
I mean, it's true. It's not like it's a point to make. It's true that they have nothing to play for. They just play those games just to play them because they're scheduled. Like, something needs to be done regarding those clubs. Something else needs to be done, I think. Because you get to that level, you have 4 or 5 teams battling for relegation. You have 2-3 teams who are just there to be there. And
so how do you change it? Do you change the league format? What do you do?
I'm not in the stuff to know what to do. I'm not suggesting for a recommendation, but something needs to happen with those clubs, like Ael, Apollon, Salamina. You feel bad for those clubs because people expect to see their club play every week. The fans in Cyprus are very passionate. You guys know it. I think a lot of people know that the fans in Cyprus, especially Ael and Apollon fans, out of those clubs, and Salamina, are very passionate. So these games are just there to be played. We had an Ael vs Apollon game the other day in the B group. Like nothing. Like it was like playing Trachipedula with Pedulas. Like a random game in Cyprus. It's a shame.
Empty. It's a shame. Empty stadium. Completely empty. Completely empty. But then you look at other clubs as well. I mean, obviously, you mentioned Ael and Apollon. We keep saying this every week. Ethnigo, how everyone's, I thought they were going to go down, in all fairness. I thought they were going to be one of the bottom 3, and they've shut me up. And we mentioned Cabrera on Twitter the other day and the form that he's been in. I know they lost tonight, but what a player he's turning out to be. I know he's on loan. Do you think he'll end up at another club in Cyprus permanently?
You ask him?
Yeah,
anyone.
I think.
Yeah, well, for sure. I think there's going to be a lot of teams looking at Cabrera because, he's kind of going up in levels. So last season, I think he was in the Maltese league. This season, he's in the Cypriot league. I think somebody from a bigger league is going to pick him up, not necessarily in Gibro.
You don't think in Cyprus anyone can get him?
Well, they might try, but I think the performances he's putting in. I think there's going to be teams from bigger leagues that will probably be able to pay him more money. we'll get him instead.
You know who Gabriel reminds me of? Like a prime Neil Mopé. Like that arrogant striker, that short striker, that arrogant guy who's going to score goals right in your face. That's who he reminds me of. He's the guy.
It is. I saw the way he reacted. At one point, he scored, but it was a handball, and then he kind of looked at the assistant referee and went, "What am I going to do?"
Yeah, he's got that South American fight in him. You could tell he chases everything. He's a cracking player. I don't know what else to ask you guys about Group B, being honest, guys. I mean, look, Doxa lost against Othello, but then they won tonight. I mean, what's the points difference between them and Garmiodis? What we're talking? I
think it's
7 points.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's looking bleak, isn't it?
It's not looking good for him, but it depends on. I would say it depends on Garmiodis' results against those teams below them. So, whatever performances they can have against the teams above them, fine. But it's how they get on against Othello, Ayes, and Doxa. I think those are the games which are gonna make things a bit more interesting if they do.
I think there's how many points difference? There's a 13-point difference between Salamina and Doxa. I don't think Salamina are going to get sucked in, but if you look at their form at the moment, 4 losses and a draw in their last 5, that's not great form. They're lucky they got the points that they do.
Yeah, the players have kind of gone on holiday, haven't they? They're already...
Where? Cyprus?
Even Cyprus, why not? Why
Mackenzie.
Exactly. They have Zakaki tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
It will be fun. It will be interesting, not fun, to see this game because how much fight is left in Zakaki? And what can Salamina do that we haven't seen so far? Like, those kind of games are difficult to predict as well.
Yeah.
Because Zakaki want to prove something. They want to win. Salamina, they just play freely their football, do whatever they want. They're not nervous. They don't have anything. They don't feel nothing. They just want to play football. It's going to be interesting to see. I follow Zakaki. Ever since I left, I follow Zakaki. I watch the games. But what can you do?
Exactly.
There is one thing to talk about in Group B.
Yes.
So there were whispers for the last couple of months that something big is happening at AEL regarding a takeover. Yes. So AEL Somadio president Nikos Christodoulidis confirmed, at least according to Alithia newspaper Supersport FM, that he's in discussions in an open line with a large European company to take over the football team. So, who do we think this large European company is? Is anybody willing to just throw some names out? Stel won't because he's probably involved in it. So.
No, I'm actually not. I swore an oath last year that I'm not going to involve myself in any Cypriot club deals unless I see paperwork and that's legitimate paperwork.
Yeah.
And an NDA is signed. And no one wants to sign NDAs out there, so...
Well, I mean, the main guy who's involved on AEL's side isn't shutting up about the deal. So...
I really, really, really love the Red Bull shout. Red Bull Limassol. Let's get it on a shirt. Let's get it done now. Red Bull Limassol. I want to see a reaction. This is the only thing I want to see.
Yeah,
that yellow kit is going to go white and red.
Oof.
And isn't the away kit like a navy blue?
Like the flag of Bhutan. You see the flag of Bhutan, like red, like yellow, and white dragon in the middle.
They gone from a lion to a bull.
Yeah. It's an evolution. It's a Pokemon. It's evolving.
Yep. Yeah. This is
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, Mario. Okay. Relax.
No,
Relax.
because I was like, AL L'Oreal, because Ruslan is worth it.
Yeah.
Listen, Ruslan won't care. He won't care. As long as this club gets bought out and they're safe and they're challenging, he won't care. I'm telling you, he won't care.
I'm surprised he hasn't commented. he always pops up just as soon
Arsenal,
as
Arsenal are playing, so he's probably watching Arsenal. Yeah. Also, Apollon today, they announced that Skembri is leaving the under-19s at the end of the season. Now, that's an interesting one for me because I know that Skembri was very influential last season in and around the club. So for him to leave, look, I don't know the details. I speak to him from time to time, but I haven't spoken to him in about a year or so, in all fairness. But it came as a shock to me. I messaged him saying, sorry, mate. He goes, look, it is what it is. And he's already had offers from elsewhere, I believe, anyway. But were you shocked, Eleftherios, to hear that?
Like, not really. It's not an information that you have in your mind, like 24/7, or you think about it. Like, it's just an event, just something that happened. Like, from my perspective. Like, as a person who follows football, like, is keen on watching, like, young Cypriot players get promoted to the first teams. It's not like a piece of information that I'm going to hold on, like, for the rest 3 days. Like, it's just something that happened in Cyprus. I think, like, the people that got involved or that got affected by this deal might have a different opinion. But from my perspective, it's just something that happened.
There you go.
He has been at the club as well for a long time. It's not like, especially for Cyprus kind of timelines. He's been a youth coach and director of football at Apollon since June 2020. So by the time he leaves at the end of the season, he's been there for 4 seasons.
When did he stop playing? Because he played a lot of years in Cyprus as well, right?
Yeah. So I've got it here. He finished with the Chennai FC in India, summer 2020. So as soon as he left, he signed with Apollon as a youth coach.
Nice. So I had in my mind that he finished his career in Cyprus for a reason. But it turns out he wasn't.
He spent 2 seasons, and then he went to India for a season. Yeah, and then he retired.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he will find a role elsewhere.
Certainly.
Fingers crossed. Right. Anything else, or shall we go to Group A?
Let's go to the interesting stuff.
You said it, not me. Flipping hell. Right. Ari and Anotisi drew 1 apiece. Anotisi took the lead from a Guerrero penalty before an equaliser by Thassos. Who equalised?
Oh, my man Montnor.
Your man Montnor. There you go. But 2 red cards, a second yellow for Artimada, which I like to call a rusty challenge. A player that hasn't played much minutes for God knows how long, second yellow. And then I'm not sure how to explain the red card for Steve Iago. This is second red card in the past few weeks. Would you say as a slap, a bitch slap?
Yeah, pretty much. I think I don't think it's on purpose, but he has raised his hand, hasn't he? So it's difficult to not give him at least a yellow for that, if not the red.
Yes. And apparently Shpilevsky lost it with Sita Vision's journalists as well.
Yep.
The wheels are coming off, man.
Yeah. So we need to explain a little bit, don't we? Because Shpilevsky got suspended for 1 game because of the fact in the game with Paphos he threw that water bottle on the floor. And it went everywhere.
He soaked himself,
Yeah, he soaked himself with it. He got sent off for that. So he got a 1-match suspension for that. And because of that, he was sat in the VIP boxes. And they are right next to the commentary boxes where the Sita Vision commentators were. And I don't think it was it that sent it off, or was it? I think there was a penalty shout that he went apeshit about.
Yeah, it was a penalty shout.
Yeah.
Penalty shout, yeah.
Yeah, and he just started yelling at the commentators. And then obviously, 1st of April, he decides to put up an apology note on Instagram. But at the bottom of the apology note, but in essence, what he wrote was "sorry, not sorry."
What is it then? Is it pressure? Is it just things not going right? What would you put it down to, guys?
Yeah, it might be. It might be as well, because the way I looked at it is he's in a box. He can't do nothing. He can't help his team in some sort. And he sees his team like not being that good against a team that has nothing to play for. Anorthos. And under that pressure, because we know Spilevski, with his good, his bad, this is how he is. I think we all accepted him by now. He's a really good coach. Tactically, he's outstanding in my opinion. But these things are what make Spilevski. He has a personality. That's a good thing I can say about it. It's a personality. It's a person that you can't take your eyes off him. He will do something. Every week, he will do something. It's an interesting story. It's an interesting story with Spilevski.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like when you're chasing for the title, the pressure isn't as intense as when you're leading. And last season, they were fighting. They were fighting for that title. But this season, obviously, they got a big target on their back. European football, with the finances that they possess, being the league champions, that reputation, having to defend their title. And obviously with the run that Apoel have been on, and also losing Bambika, which I think was massive, absolutely massive. Even Stepinski to some extent as well, because while Savo has been scoring goals, I think Stepinski was more of an impact player for them, but he did the job. But then the other thing I've noticed, there's been a lot of rotation. He's been rotating a lot this season, not as much as last season. Obviously, they went out of Europe, so I don't know why the rotation has to be so frequent. I'm not sure. But I think there's loads of moving pieces to this one. But then there's other rumours, off the field stuff, which I don't really want to go into because I don't know the full facts. So I'm going to leave it at that. But it's been an odd title defence. But then again, if you think about it, the past few seasons, Bodlon last season wasn't a great title defence. Omoni the year before wasn't a great title defence. So I guess it's a pattern with the Cypriot League anyway.
It's not just that. I think Mario's got a good comment here regarding it. Is basically that people weren't ready for the intensity that Aris were playing at last season, and a lot of defenses basically fell apart on that. But this season, defenses are more prepared, and I think on top of that, obviously they were unexpectedly going after the title. Like even themselves, they said that that in their plan, they were a couple of years ahead in their plan on going for the title. And I think, what's basically happening is everybody's caught up, and they haven't made enough changes to kind of put people on the back foot again, like what they did last season. On top of that, again, they've been missing some players. They've had some injuries. Again, I keep saying that they need to invest in their defense. They need an experienced defender in there. Spilevski has been playing with. I know I keep going on about Sapinto playing three fullbacks, but he's played fullbacks in the center of defense. And the team itself, Aris, are caught out on the counter-attack quite a lot as well. There's a few things that I think need to be picked up for them. But I think the main thing is that last season they didn't have the expectation on them. This season they do. And it's not just that. Last season it was Apoel and Ari for the title. This season there's a third team in there as well. And you could argue a fourth and maybe a fifth, because the league is a lot more concentrated this season, but there's more points up for grabs. And I think the fact that there's more teams involved has been to a detriment to Aris. I think.
Yeah, possible. Eleftheri, talk to me about Anorthosis. This is a club that started the season pretty well. They've been topsy-turvy. They've had one player going AWOL twice, managerial change. I won't even say change, managerial sacking, injuries, big injuries, serious ones at that. And this was a dead rubber game, effectively, but yet they still managed to get something out of it. Speaking to Anorthosis fans, Buffo being one of them, they're obviously concerned about the club's finances. There are rumors that Marinagi might be taking over the club. I don't know how true that is. I heard that twice this week already. How can, again, same with Olympiacos, how can a club the size of Anorthosis just be, falling backward at this stage of the season, like in terms of their form?
I mean, in modern football, you have to evolve in every single aspect, like even if it's the training facilities, the youth academies, like the first team players, the staff, the coaches, the fitness coaches, the kitmen, whoever. You have to evolve everything. It's not a step-by-step process. Unfortunately, football goes like this, straight up, evolving fast. Some clubs, unfortunately, are not able to match up with this rapid growth. Anorthosis, as you mentioned, started really good this year. What happened with Chico twice might have affected them. The continuous change of managers has affected them. And we came to the game with eyes, like on Sunday, and we saw Anorthosis that played simple football. They were well read of their opponents. At the start of the second half, I thought Anorthosis would score 3-4 goals in the start of the second half. They had like 2-3 huge chances to make it 2-3. Like I was expecting to call on the matches like 4-0 for Aris, 5, 6, whatever.
There's one from Castel right at the end where he put it over the bar. I thought,
yeah. And I'm speaking to Apoel fans right now, and they think like it's a park walk on Sunday. You are in for a treat. I'll tell you what, I like Apoel. I really like Apoel, but it's not an easy game by any sort on Sunday for Apoel. And Artimadas is playing as well, even though some people like to talk crap about Artimadas. He hasn't played in years. He's got a red card. He's still the captain of the national team. He's an experienced player. He's a really good defensive midfielder. He's a really good box-to-box midfielder, in my opinion. And he's a player that needs to be handled well for Apoel to win the midfield battles, because the last few matches, Apoel has not been quite good in the middle of the park. Doesn't have that stability that Darcio, Vangelis, and Konstantinov have had. Like, some things are changing. Mekri is getting minutes. Like, Sarfo is not getting minutes now. I don't know why. Who knows? Sachaz is getting minutes. Like, they switch plays as well, and Artimadas can be a danger for them three.
Yeah, I mean, I've been one of Artimadas' worst critics, but it's more the fact. Yeah, I keep slagging him off. It's the fact that for the Cypriot national team, it's more like he played 12 minutes for Anorthosis and then he got picked for the national team. It didn't make sense. Obviously, he needs minutes, so he played the game. First start for him as the captain of the team. I'm pretty sure he's not happy with being sent off. I'm sure he's not happy with himself for that, but it's just not working for him at the moment. So he needs something there.
You've got someone like Tejera in the middle of the park who's been outstanding from him, absolutely outstanding. Mm-hmm. And then is it Dionne that's in the middle with him?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's done well. So I guess it's difficult for him to get into the team when you've got players like that in form. But as Eleftherios said, if they feel that he's going to be a problem for Apoel, it wouldn't surprise me if they go 5 in midfield.
Yeah, De Gea, you mentioned, what a player he is.
Yeah.
With all the problems, all the troubles going on in Anorthosis right now. You saw them on Sunday, came out, played like really good football. Why not do it again next week? The situation is the same. The players know that the situation is the same. They just go to training, they go to the match on Sundays. it's the same situation. Like Aris is a top club now in Cyprus, and Orthos is like looked them straight in the face. Apoel is on top of the league; they feel untouchable even after a poor performance against like more on that later. They're playing against Anorthos now, so Anorthos is in danger because traditionally the sixth team in the playoffs is the team that will say, "Okay, you are the champion." This team is going to cut points from some teams. And those teams are going down. For example, right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to Teixeira, I believe he's been one of the best central midfielders in the league this season. And that's saying a lot given Anorthos' position. But this is a player who's so intelligent. He's not the quickest, not at all. But his reading of the game, that left peg, whether it be a 40-yard crossfield ball or a 5-yard square pass, he can do it. And he can dictate the tempo in games. And again, as I said, because he doesn't have that pace, to possess the ability to dictate the tempo in the middle of the park, it tells you how good he is. Absolutely fantastic player, I believe, anyway.
He's very aggressive as well. Very aggressive as well in his challenger.
Yeah.
Shame about the hair.
Listen. When people talk about hair, we need to shut up.
Vasso's got a message for you there.
Thank you, Vasso. Thank you very much.
This is our friend Vasso, who's got a fantastic podcast with Mariano Fidu.
Yep.
On Alpha. And thank you for your support there, Vasso. Here we go. He agrees with me.
Yeah.
When Vasso agrees with you, you know you're doing something right. There you go.
Yeah. I think Anorthos' season kind of fell apart with Guerrero's injury. He was so pivotal.
That soon.
Yeah, he was so pivotal for them at the beginning of the season, especially up until November. Because November is basically when their form started to dip a little bit. Not too much, but then obviously, injury after injury after injury after injury and sending off. And I think it's like there hasn't been a game in the last 3-4 weeks for Anorthos where they haven't had a sending off.
The thing is, I also think the cancer issue with Salva Ferrer hit them. Even though he wasn't at the club for long, I think that really hit them. Really did. Psychologically, I believe anyway.
Yeah, that too as well. I mean, the other thing is if you at your job weren't getting your salary, would you think your performance would dip in that job?
Yeah, but you could say that about your club.
You could say that about my club. That is true.
So that argument is a little bit null and void, no?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the difference is between the two clubs regarding motivations and money on that side of things. But Anorthos has got to the point where the players. It's been reported that the players have sent a letter to the club's board, giving them an ultimatum. Basically, if they're not paid within 15 days, they're going to bring FIFA in. They're going to get FIFA involved in that. So,
well, put it this way, man. Remember when we first started doing this pod together? One of the first pods we did was we covered the Garmiodessa game when they were 2 down, and then they threw the Molotovs on the pitch. Now, remember how fractious and how disconnected the relationship was between the Machides or the supporters and the club.
Yeah.
Look at it now. You don't have that intensity. Maybe it's because Sandis is there. I don't know. I really don't know whether he's kind of padded it out somehow or he's saying the right things. I don't know. I'm not that guy. I'm not involved at the club. But the financial problems are still there. They're still there. So it's still the same financially as what it was last season. All right, you could say the cable net deal has obviously helped that. But as you quite rightly said, the players have gone to UEFA now. So what's the difference between now and then?
Yeah, no idea. No idea what the difference is. I think players have been promised stuff, and I think some of these players as well are on very, very long-term contracts as well. I think is it Wagner or Aboleda is on a 5-year contract.
No, it's not Arboleda. He's gone in the summer probably.
So it's Wagia. Wagia, I think, is on a 5-year contract. Then so is he going to be there for 5 years not getting paid? I think that's another reason why some of these players are getting worried about this.
Listen, when you got Musunda on your books, how much is he on?
Wait, I think he's on a pay.
Or pays you play?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have Musunda on my books unless it was that, based off of his injury record. So
I think quickly, you guys hit the nail on the head like a few weeks ago when you said that this is a transitional period for them, especially this year. Yeah. It's not the year that they aimed for Europe. We aimed for the championship, but because they started that good.
Yeah,
there's some small expectations came like, oh, can you imagine if we go well? For the Anatolis fans. But eventually they fell off, which was expected even from their fans. And you had the question, why do Machides not react to the poor form that the team is in? Because they expected it. They expected this to happen. And they don't have...
They've done better this season than last, though, in all fairness.
Yeah, they did. But it's still a transitional period for them. They are building something slowly. It takes time. For a club like Anatolis, we can't all do this and go on the top.
Yeah. It's like I said a few weeks ago, those two central defenders, Mamrouk and Makoun, they look good. Mamrouk, especially the Moroccan, he looks good. And I think if they can have a settled back line, and build on it, because you mentioned the right back, he's decent. The goalkeeper, I still think he's dodgy as anything. Can't catch. He can't catch the ball.
No,
the goalkeeper can't catch crosses. I'm sorry, it's not good enough. He's a good shot stopper, but catching the ball, he's not great. And with his feet as well, I've seen the ball slip from under his studs. Not good enough. But I'm a pedant in that way. But again, the two or three defenders are good. They've still got midfielders that have got talent at a decent age as well. They've got that youngster. I forget his name now. What's his name there?
Which one? They've got plenty of them kind of
surrounding the lad that scored against Ari.
They've got Giulio. Is it
That's
Giulio, you mean?
That's one.
They've got Baroudis. He's not young. He's
good.
25, 26. I thought he was older than that. Okay. Yeah. There's also Chrysostomo that's there and thereabouts. They've got some very good young players that they can use as well if push comes to shove.
Here's a question here. Can Oka take them to the next level, though? Let's see if he can get his son there. You can get his son there.
No.
Get George out there. Get him from Fulham on loan. Why not?
No. Okas is not going to be able to do anything with him, man. He's not.
Listen, they're going to go Spanish. They're going to go Spanish because the technical director is Spanish. That's simple.
Yeah.
And if he's the guy that calls the shots, you know what's coming. So, ole. Right. Shall I go to the next? Let's go. Now, the next game. This was all fun and games for me as an Omonia fan. We drew 1-0 against Buffalo and a wonderful goal scored by Simic. 13 passes, which I counted, not you, Pedro. 13 passes. And then a dubious handball. I still think it's a soft penalty in all fairness. I don't think the central defender knew much about it. Similar to the Iago handball against Omonia when Gaguli headed the ball. But here comes the hero of the hour, the guy that spends more time crying than doing anything on a football pitch, Roman Bezos, who one of the most pathetic penalties I've ever seen in my life. I don't want to talk too much about this guy because I say what I had to say and people think I'm too harsh on him. It was embarrassing. I'm leaving it at that. And then Buffalo with a FIFA glitch goal, as I like to call it, Dragomir, his 5th of the season, an absolutely fantastic player, 24 years old. He'll be in the Romanian national team in the next year, I think, anyway. Absolutely fantastic. Good result for Buffalo. Shit result for Omonia. Our season was done months and months and months ago, but hey, listen, I was right again. But, a broken clock is right twice a day, I guess.
You're a little bit harsh on Omonia's season, man. I think there's still Europe there or thereabouts.
No, it's not good enough.
To fight for.
Not good enough.
It's not good enough for Omonia. They should be fighting for the title. But it's better than last season, isn't it?
Last season we won a cup.
Last season you won a cup, but the performance in the league this season is better, isn't it?
Yeah, but we won a cup last season.
You're still in the semis.
Yeah, do you know what's going to happen in the semis?
What's going to happen?
We got Ari, yeah? Do you know what's going to happen in the semis?
What's going to happen? Oh, God. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think you're being too harsh on Bezos, in my opinion.
I agree with you, Stel.
I don't like Roberto Baggio missed a penalty in the World Cup final. Like Trezeguet missed a penalty in the World Cup final. Roman Bezos missed a penalty against Paphos. Yeah, it was a shit.
Yeah, bro.
I agree.
Bro, do you know what? It wasn't this penalty miss that did it for me. I've been talking about this guy for a very long time. Now, you don't watch No Chofters, and I don't blame you. And we've got a members area where I do analysis videos, and people think that I'm digging this guy out. But when I tell you, he will have 3 or 4 good games out of 7 or 8. That's not good enough for me, right? Now, I don't expect him to have a 10 out of 10 performance every single game. It's impossible. I don't know any player that does that or any player that's ever done that. But when you're looking at a talisman, because that's what he is, right? He's supposed to be a top-level player that's played in the Belgian league, that's played for his national team. He came with this fanfare, I guess, and he's flattered to deceive. Now, I get it. The first season was difficult for him, settling, obviously, personal problems. I'm not going to go into that. And he's shown glimpses of a very good player. But when you have a 34-year-old central midfielder that you would think knows the game well enough to realize that you cannot hold on to the ball, right, for more than 3 or 4 seconds. He tries to run at midfielders that are quicker than him and stronger than him, right? To his credit, he comes off the pitch with the dirtiest shirt because he's always on the ground, because he's probably the most fouled player in our team anyway, right? But when you see a player that tries to make a Hollywood pass 8 times out of 10 in games, it's not good enough. His tackles, all right, he's like Paul Scholes. I'm not going to criticize him for that. But for me, when his head drops, he's out of the game. And the moment he missed that penalty, it was done for him. And that's not the right mentality to have, my personal opinion. And I'm not shitting on him because of the penalty. Yeah, I've seen games where he's, but anyway, I've said out to say, I'm not going to go into it. I'll leave the floor to you guys. So,
had he been faster, though, he wouldn't be in Cyprus. If he had that first touch, that
you're right.
Know what to do with the ball before you even got it, what the top managers say. I think he would have been Cyprus. He's grown older. He still has a lot of quality. I think you can say that as well. When he's on his day, he seems unstoppable. On his day. But you mentioned the problem. He plays like 4 out of 8. Like one game, next game he's shit, the other game he's sick, and it goes on. But it happens with most players in Cyprus as well, I've noticed. Like not only Bezos. If you remember Altamari back in Apoel, like he had some nightmare games. Like he wouldn't even go past one player. Then the next game scores 3 against Omonia, like wins the game against whoever. Like a lot of it's a common thing with those players. And I think that's the main reason that they're in Cyprus as well, because if they could do this like 9 times out of 10, not 10, because you can't do it 10, I agree with you completely. If they could do this 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't even be in Cyprus.
But I would argue against that, because Altamari, when he was at Apoel, he was still learning. Now, look at him. They're talking about, there's rumours about Liverpool looking at him now. So, there's it's different stages of a career. In theory, Bezos has already been through that stage of his career, so he should be there. I think for me though, the penalty is the problem, because it's not the first time he's done a penalty like that. What he's doing, I don't know what the issue is with his penalties, but he always shoots a penalty like that. He always is like that.
The top of the ball. That's what it looks like. He side foots the top of the ball.
And it's and I think that I think he's trying to put the goalkeeper off by trying to confuse the keeper about where he's going to put the ball, and then puts it in a place that if the goalkeeper would dive, would have difficulty getting to.
That's what I'll be honest with you. We played Buffalo at the beginning of the season, and he scored a penalty, and it was a very similar taken penalty. And Uvicic almost got to that. But prior to the penalty, Gaguli was holding the ball. and Bezos was standing away. Now, no, it's a common tactic because players like to put off the penalty taker. I get it. So Gaguli is holding onto the ball, and Bezos, but I'm thinking, you're 33, 34 years old, and you're relying on a 21-year-old to do the reverse psychology on the other players. Again, it's up here. It's all up here. And when he stepped up to take that penalty against Buffalo, he didn't look confident at all. Now, Stepinski gave him the ball. And again, I'm thinking, Stepinski took a penalty last week against Apoel, high-pressure situation. All right, he put it down the middle, but it's the winning goal. Let the striker take the penalty. Now, again, I'm not there at the club. I don't know who makes the decisions, whatever. But I've been very underwhelmed with this player. And I'm not digging him out because Hamas wasn't great. His crossing was atrocious, especially, when he's got extra time to take a touch and he's got time to whip it in the box. He puts it too deep. Alium wasn't great. Even Humble, when he came on, Humble wasn't the same player. You could say that maybe it's fatigue. I don't know. Stepinski was isolated, and he had 3 players around him various times, especially even against Apoel. As we said, when Kostadinov went off, he played the game of his life after that. So there was loads of factors, but I don't want to take anything away from Buffalo because they came with a game plan, and they seem to be a team that, especially in the playoffs this season, they're more of a second half team. It's like first half they keep in second gear, and then second half, especially in the last half an hour, they bombard teams, and they were unlucky not to get away with 3 points, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I think Dragomir hit the post as well, didn't he, with a header?
Yeah, first half, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Carcelo's changed tactics a little bit because obviously we're getting later on in the season, so players are going to be fatigued a little bit easier, especially in high press, high stress situations. They're going to get tired easier. So his idea is probably to calm it down in the first however many minutes, and then obviously go at the defenses once, especially your older defenses. I won't say which teams, but especially your older defenses will struggle a little bit more to deal with kind of Bafos's attacking quality in the last 10-15 minutes.
What you will probably also notice is that he doesn't go with the 2 holding midfielders anymore.
Yep.
Before it was Nam and Gane.
Yeah, now he's rotating the 2.
Nam and Dragomir. And as I mentioned before, Dragomir has been outstanding for them the last few months anyway. So I think he realizes that when you've got those 2 holding midfielders, you've effectively got your 2 centre backs, you've got your 2 holding midfielders, you're too narrow, and you're forcing your opponents out wide, which is great. But then that means your wingers are going to have to do more in terms of a central area, and your wing backs have to get forward more. So he's relying a lot on Tankovic to make those central runs, and Valakari to make those central runs, and Gyro to peel off the defender's shoulder. So we could go on all day about the system there. But Eleftherios, what do you make of Buffalo? Because I'll say, I always ask Thassos after they win, can they really make a charge for the title? I think it's too late now for them anyway. But when you see the evolution under Carcedo, who a few months ago we thought he was going to get the sack, but they've stuck by him. They didn't stick with Bird, but they stuck by him. So clearly they see something there with this guy.
So Paphos, over the last few games especially, they have stopped relying on Gyro solely. Because especially last year, Gyro was the main man. Every team was planning how to stop Gyro. Now everyone goes behind Gyro. Gyro is making shadow runs all over the place. Gyro is still the main focus, but everyone else is higher than this team. And Paphos is, football-wise, I think the second best team in Cyprus before AEK. Because in terms of football, I think AEK is the best team in the league. But Paphos, I think, is unlikely to be where they are right now, given their results. But they still do have a chance to finish in the top 3 spots. How many points they are now of Ammonia? Are they where's the standings?
2 points. 2 points behind Ammonia.
2 points of Ammonia. And now we have Paphos and AEK and Ammonia Aris. All hell will break loose.
They're 5 behind AEK, 4 behind Ari.
Yeah, and even AEK can get down from this position that they are now.
Yep.
if Paphos beats Psych, they're up there. They're up there. But yeah, Paphos is a good side. I really, really rate Paphos.
Can we talk about Dragomir? Because I've got a bit of a man crush on him now. No, I think he's been brilliant. I think he's been brilliant from him. Absolutely brilliant. Because I think he's not only this. I mean, we did a profile on him the other day on Twitter, and he isn't just this box-to-box midfielder that's tenacious. As we've seen, he gets forward, and the goals that he scored this season, the two, especially the one against Ali, ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, we've sung his praises quite a few times on this podcast. He's a good player. He's a good player. He's a very good player.
Vlad Drag. What a name, Vladimir Dragomir. Come on, Vlad Drag.
Like Ivan Drago in Rocky 3.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just don't call him a drag queen, though. He'll kill you.
He's Romanian.
There you go. Yeah, no chance of that. I mean, I don't want Gigi Bacali calling me saying Mr. Diano. Sorry, Gigi. Anyway, right. Next game. No. Ah, yes. Sorry. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, Bafor
yes,
have got plans for stadiums in plural, because they had a synedriasi. They had a synedriasi with, so it was the club, the mayor's office, the Cyprus Athletics Association, the Eleftherios were involved as well. Quite a few people were involved in this meeting that they had, and as part of the meeting, they presented plans for the Stelios Kyriakidis Stadium. So, 8,000 seats for the football pitch part of it. They're also talking about 3,000 seats for what looks like a tennis court. I want to say on the side there, they called it an athletics court, but it looks like it's for like netball or tennis or something. Anyway,
netball in Cyprus.
Volleyball. Volleyball.
Have Gary Neville's sister going out there to play now. Flipping hell.
But yeah, so 8,000 for the football bit. That's less than the current attendance of 9,364. So they're actually going for a smaller stadium. What amazing thing. Amazing, right? They're going for a 8,000 seater stadium, compact. It's going to be loud when it's full. It's going to be compact. It's going to be half full most of the time. Yeah, let's not beat around the bush about how.
Do you know what I like about those stadium plans? In the centre circle, they don't have the Champions League banner like another club does in their plans.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Not counting their chickens.
So I had some thoughts about why they've got this reduced capacity. I think somebody on Twitter had asked me, why is it a reduced capacity from what they've got at the moment? So there's a couple of reasons that there could be. So one is they're getting rid of the running track, which means the perimeter around the stadium is smaller, which means your row A is going to have less seats on it, and therefore every row after that. Right?
Oh no! So we're not going to see the police car anymore with the flashing lights.
We're not going to see the flying pig anymore. Yeah. So the second one is that there's roads all the way around the stadium, like all four sides, and two sides. They're very, very main roads through and around Paphos as well. So that's the other thing. And then the other thing is obviously somebody might have done some geotechnical investigations and found out you can only build the stadium so high before it starts being a problem. So there's 3 or 4 different things there, or they might have done a cost-benefit analysis so that a smaller capacity means a smaller stadium can be more efficiently run. You know, just some ideas for a couple of other teams in Cyprus. Anyway,
I think they realized that they don't have that many funds anyway.
yeah.
So even if we build like a 10,000 seater stadium, we're not even gonna go half that. Like an 8,000. Things change. Even if they get 4,000 or 5,000 people in the stadium, it's gonna be more than half full.
Yeah.
If they squeeze into one place as well, it will look pretty.
Yeah.
I think that might be one of the reasons that they did something like this. But it's something out of the box. It's a thought outside of the box. Like no one has done anything with a smaller stadium. Who does that?
Yeah, but I think it's probably the best way forward. Now, two more things, obviously, because the Stelios Kyriakidis is government owned at the moment, and there's athletics in Stelios Kyriakidis in theory. So they have to provide a facility for those athletics, for those athletics sports. I don't know. And so Paphos FC have thrown €1 million at the Iagovio, somewhere else in Paphos, to develop an athletic stadium with a football pitch in the middle, but an athletic stadium which will provide that athletics infrastructure that will be gone once the Stelios Kyriakidis is developed. And then the third thing was that they're going to redevelop the Yeroskipu Municipal Stadium, which is across the road from the training ground. And they're going to do that so it's a first division standard stadium to play in there while the redevelopment of the Stelios Kyriakidis is done. Which also means that, somebody like a team like, a team that has like 12 fans, like Karmiotissa, can play in a smaller stadium so they don't have to pay as much as, say, having to play at the Tsirio or the Stelios Kyriakidis, where you've got 8,000 and 11,000 stands. So,
and also, you mentioned, I think Eleftherios mentioned bigger picture. I don't know if you guys are aware of the Total Sports Summit that took place a few weeks ago. It was a nice little networking event, which a few people turned up. As you can see, Cannavaro was one of them. And Buffalo got their connections. And I think that stadium will be used for other things, like events or networking events or whatever. They might even have the, don't they have the transfer forum as well, Eleftherios? I think they had one in Portugal recently, didn't they? The transfer forum, something like that. And there was about 30 clubs or 40 clubs there. So they might do something like that in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think you guys posted it on Instagram as well. You put it like a little feature article regarding this. I think
Adi were there, Buff were there. Yeah. Hermes were there, which is interesting. Hermes, are they poor there?
Were they actually? Hermes?
Yeah. One of their logo was there, so I'm assuming they had someone there. I don't know.
My best guess is that they missed out or something. They wanted to put red and black. I don't know.
Just put it in there. I don't know. Just whack it in there. Random Cypriot club. Well, look, there's some comments. Let me just bring them up here. In the playoffs, Omonia and Ayak have won 10 out of 15 points. Buffalo and Upwell, 7 out of 15. Ari, 5 out of 15. And Rotosi, 2 out of 15. It's still a long way to go there, Mario. We're halfway through it. Pedro said 13 passes last night. I know he did, Vaso, because I pulled him up on that because he watched my analysis and then he went on your podcast and he took my thunder. See? I'm sure it was from you still. Of course it was from me. You think Pedro knows Mappa like I do? No chance. How can I subscribe to the analysis? There's a members area on this page. It's 99 cents a month. And you see me in all my glory. I am fully clothed. I promise. Musa was 19-20 when he came to Cyprus without speaking a word of English. What's this one from Mario? To be fair to him, which I think Bezos, we have no one else to replace him, so all the pressure is on him in the midfield to carry the attacking third. When was the last time he played this many games in a season? Well, we can have this conversation all day in the members area, Mario. We can have this conversation because I can tell you a whole bag of stuff. Still, I'm a Man United fan. I prefer 1,000 times Musa Al-Tamari than Anthony. Your opinion and Thassos also, please. I'll tell you what. Let's get Eleftherios in this. Tamari or Anthony?
Which Anthony? Anthony United's Anthony or Ajax's Anthony? Because we have two different players here. Two different players here.
Good question.
Prime of
syndrome.
Prime Musa Tamari is better than Hari and Dele Alli. Tamari. What was the chant?
Yeah. That was basically it. Is it Jordanian Messi, Bolus to Zressi?
Yeah, bang.
Superb.
So
Dragomir, excellent player, but he was benched too many times this year. Can't understand it. Might be going back to what Thassos said about the rotation. Could be because of that. Maybe he felt it was a long season ahead. Volley, basket, handball. Buffy Agor has a good volleyball team. Yeah, possibly. Thanks for details. You're welcome. United, Anthony. Well, this is the thing. I don't want to go into this in too much detail, but Anthony, maybe I think at Ajax he was still playing as a right winger, but it seems that at United, whenever he moves forward with the ball, he slows the game down, and he's always quick to try and bring it on the inside, on his left foot. I'll be interested to see how he does on the left hand side. So he can use his left peg to put the ball in the box.
It's the same coach.
Exactly.
It's the same coach.
The opponents are different. That's the thing. The opponents are different. He could do it against like Herenfen and Otto Den Haag. Now he's playing against Rodri.
Yeah, good point. We should also mention that Loizo started his first game for Herenveen tonight, and it came off at halftime.
Wow. Did they win?
I think it was a 3-3 draw in the end.
Oh, okay.
But they were losing 3-1 at halftime. So
it's not looking good, Brev.
No, it's not looking good, Brev.
Anyway, let's move on. For happier times for Apoel fans, their run of bad form has been good form apart from the loss against Omonia. They went a goal down against AEK. Belic kind of messing up there with Dongia, but 2 goals in the last 20 minutes. One from Bevo's lookalike, Domane, and the winner coming from Ndongala, who I believe has been one of the best players this season. He's been an absolute revelation. Good win for Apoel, and they celebrated by showing a shirt in support for Crespo, whose father passed away. Gentlemen, Good victory for you guys, given the circumstances. You went a goal down, but there were a few buts in this one, were there not?
There were. Again, defensively a bit frail. That will happen when you're only playing one central defender. But yeah, it's what it is, isn't it? The AEK were probably the better team for a long period of the game, and then it was strange. Sapinto played 4-4-2. He played 4-4-2, and we got the goals with the 4-4-2. He started off with Domane out from by himself. He put Filidaya on as well, didn't he? 4-4-2. It's weird when Filidaya's got somebody to play with up front, right? Something happens. Strange.
He took off Kostadinov as well, your guy.
He did take off Kostadinov. That's true. But, I, towards the end of the game, were kind of struggling a bit. And I think confidence-wise, especially when that goal line situation occurred, I think that probably knocked him out for 6 as well. Confidence-wise, that probably it ruined him, basically. I think not scoring that goal, that wasn't a goal.
They had a bit of a goal line claim last time they played each other, so, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, one for each side.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, right? These are the games that you win when you're not playing well, if you want to win a title, and they're doing it.
Yeah.
Eleftherios, what do you make of this resurgence from Apoel, especially given that they lost to Omonia the previous week, going a goal down early, the way that they went a goal down, for them to come back? It does show their title credentials, right?
Exactly. I hinted it a little bit at the start. when I said Apoel was very, very bad, especially the first 70 minutes. Like nothing. Sapindo started like a 3 at the back going forward, with Ndongala having the right flank and Hefte on the left flank. Dalcio was more of a defensive midfielder, with Konstantinov as a double pivot number 6s. Villafañez and Marquinhos were behind Tomane, who was lost in the first 70 minutes. I don't think he won like one single header of his opponents, and Dijk seemed comfortable. Like first 70 minutes, like Abuel had a chance. Did Abuel have a chance in the first 70 minutes? Like anything concrete? I can't remember.
No, not
I
that
can't remember.
Long shots. It was the same against Omonia. It was long shots, hit and hope.
Yeah, like no fantasy, not something special. Like something that can get you up, can get you pumped. Like no imagination in the game, like predictable stuff. Petrovic, I think, had a good game as a libero, as he was presented in this game. A few times he got the ball and drove into the middle, broke the ball wide. But that was it. That was it. And at halftime, you say, okay, now Tomane is coming off. Who else? Poof, halftime comes. Tomane stays on. Villafañez comes off. And we're like, okay, let's see how this goes. You could see in all the Apoel forums, in every like Gida, Balan, whatever, all the forums, people were like swearing at Sabido, Tomane still in Tomane. And here you are. Tomane gives a beautiful present to his coach. He scores a goal. Kvilidaya comes in, makes the difference, as Thassos pointed out correctly. But the thing is, Kvilidaya came on. He was supposedly injured. On Abuel's first goal, if you see Kvilidaya's run, he gets 3 Ajax players with him. Three players follow Kvilidaya. On the second goal, he gets the control from a long ball from Belac, breaks the ball wide, like a few situations happen on the right flank. Ball in by Adonis. Again, Kvilidaya takes a player with him. Then Dongala banks on the back post. That was it. A bad game for Apoel with a happy ending.
Yeah. It's Kvilidaya. I keep saying this over and over and over again, but Kvilidaya is so important for Apoel. He does everything but score goals. But yeah, it's I've got to say, I slated the fact that Domane was on as well. I was like looking at that team and thinking, we've lost this, and I was kind of preparing a diatribe in my mind on shouting at Sapinto, calling him. I was thinking about calling him a charlatan as well, and saying all these kinds of things. But he did something right, it worked, and there's no complaints from me.
His subs were really, really good.
Yeah.
He helped, I think. He helped. Donis, of course, he had the assist in the second goal.
Yeah.
They came in hot. Sachas came in. I think he got a card as soon as he got in. Did his job perfectly.
Yeah.
Everyone helped. And I'm going to disagree with you on something you keep saying about the 3 fullbacks, the 1 defensive midfielder at the back, like 1 center half. Yeah. Like Petrovic, for me, as a center half, is Apoel's most important player this year. Because his experience, his leadership,
his experience
game is second to none.
No, his experience, he's a very experienced player. But what I've seen with Petrovic, and this is why I keep calling him Slenderman, is that when there's a ball played over the top, or there's a forward player who just makes one darting run, he loses him. It's the reason why he had the sending off against Ari.
Nice.
It's why he performed subpar at the beginning of the season as well. The kind of like the middle third of the season, he was fantastic. He's had a couple of poor games now coming to the back end, but again, this last game he had a very, very good performance. So for me, it's not necessarily that he's a poor player or a bad defender. It's more that he's not a defender. That's my problem. He's not a defender. So he has the experience. He's very good at what he does. It's just that's not his position. That's all.
But you can agree that Apoel need to start both Konstantinov and Petrovic. And with both of them as double pivot, I think you lose Mark Kirans from midfield. And you also lose a centre half. You're going to play either Karamanolis or Susic, again, who played brilliantly whenever he played at the back, I believe. But again, Susic is not good enough for you as a centre half. It's all right.
Again, Susic is not a centre back.
Yeah, but he can cover that spot good.
And no, but yeah, the players that he's put in the positions that they're in, even though that they don't play in those positions, in most cases have been performing great.
We agree on that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it's not their positions. And it was kind of the thing that made me explode for the game against Omonia is where some of those players, where they finished the game position-wise.
But the thing is, don't you think the finishing let you guys down? Because it's not as if you weren't creating half chances. There was that Marquinhos shot where he put over the bar. There was the one where it was put across the face of the goal when someone got in someone's way.
Yeah, but a lot of the chances though were again shots outside the box.
You know,
where you've seen our Boyle's goals, right? It's set pieces, it's crosses, it's working the ball into the box and then finish. That's where that's our goals.
Sorry to bring it back to Omonia, but again, statistically, Omonia under Sofroni had 118 corners this season and only scored 5 goals. That's appalling. Whereas you guys, I mean, I'd like to see the stats for the amount of goals that you guys have scored from corners, but I think when you've got the right delivery and the height and the strength and the tactical nous to get past your opponents, because your goals haven't been scrappy goals from corners.
No,
they've been cross head. So you're getting connection on it. So I don't see that as a problem, to be honest. Listen, I'm old school in my ways, but if you've got that in your locker,
I'm not saying it's a problem. What I'm saying is, because for some reason we've gone back to the game against Omonia. The game against Omonia, it was more hit and hope stuff, and it was kind of a little bit as well against Ajax for a long period of the game. And then we went back to how Apoel play normally, what you expect from Apoel. The 2 goals that we scored are what you'd expect from Apoel. Is the kind of worked goals, set pieces, the kind of stuff that we've seen over the last couple of seasons that the players that we have deliver on.
Yeah, but you have to remember always, not just you and myself, Stel, and everyone, that 2 teams are playing football.
Yes, exactly.
2 teams. It's your team against another team with different or similar goals that plan a whole week how to play against you. They train hard in order to stop you from winning. And you have this weird situation where each coach tries to outcoach their opponent. So if Sabindo has a bad day against Anastasiou, per se, Omonia, that I would have mentioned this game, it's not just other players are not good enough, they're playing out of position. Again, there are 11 opponents on the field that are going to do their best, they're going to die on the field in order to get the result. So I keep myself distant from this talk that coach is not good enough. He plays them out of position. He needs sacking and these sort of conversations.
Yeah.
Because I'm a person who likes to let the manager finish the job, finish the season. Yeah. I'm completely against sacking a manager early on, for example.
I'm not saying about sacking him or anything like that. In fact, I've said his positive is he's very good at getting a team prepared, drilled, very good at training and things like that. It's just that we've seen, at least especially at the beginning of the season, where because he would lose control slightly, the players would also, that would reflect in the players. So performances at the beginning of the season didn't quite work, which is why somebody like Dominguez and Moraes, who are a bit calmer, they got calmer performances from the players. And we got good results. Now, obviously, Sapinto being back in the team, there's a gelling in period that needs to occur. So normally it's almost like a beginning of the season again for Apoel, because Sapinto's been back for 6 games?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So the players have to get used to him being back on the sidelines again. And I think that's what we're seeing, where we're seeing some not very sure performances from the players again. So hopefully over the next, what we got 5 games left, right? Over that period, we'll see an Apoel that we saw prior to Sapinto kind of coming back onto the sidelines again, because the players will be used to him being on the side screaming like he does during the match.
He gets red every game. If you see his face, he gets red every game.
Yeah.
Every game. Yeah. I thought Ike was good.
Yeah. Sorry, we're ignoring Ike's performance as well. Ike played very, very well.
I really, really, really rate Ike, especially this year. Ben Simon has evolved into a real team.
Mm-hmm.
Had they won the game with Apoel, they would be top of the league with 2 points.
Yep.
2 points. Yep. And they were there before, who was it who missed this massive chance? Dongia.
Like smashed it wide, yeah.
Like Francois was free on goal, like simple pass on the left. Jimenez hit the ball out of play. A minute later, Apoel scored. So you see, this is something that football can offer. It's weird, because if you are on the side of the player who missed the chance, like, oh shit, we'll be top of the league, 2 points of second. If you're on the other side of the leg, then fuck, he missed. like 5 points out. Yeah, 5 margins, exactly.
Yeah. Well, guys, before we move on, I'd just like to talk quickly about Ndongala, because in case you guys don't know, he's featured in every league game this season, bar 1. I mean, that is incredible, to be honest, for the Cypriot League as well, unless you're a goalkeeper, but to feature in all but 1 game this season. And he's become a clutch player. He scored the winner, obviously, against Ajax, scored the winner against Ari, against Buffalo. I think he scored the win against Othello at the beginning of the season as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, he's 32 years old, he's flipping out, and he's got pace to burn.
Yeah, he's got 8 goals and 9 assists this season. Those are some fantastic numbers for a winger, because he's played in a winger position as well, isn't he? So he's been something else this season. We need to.
Like Ndongala, Marquinhos started the season very good. He dropped off. I think he got tired mostly. I think he's exhausted. Same with Villafañez as well.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them seem dead at this point, but still they are quality players. They can perform in big games. Because they're tired doesn't mean that they can't go like last game of the season and win the league for Apoel. But still, for Apoel to maintain their spot, I think they need all 14, 15, 16 players to come back to those performances.
Yep.
Like even Sarfo, a player who is not playing, we all know the quality that Sarfo possesses. We all know that Sarfo can get on the pitch, get the ball, like let no opponent touch the ball for 5 minutes straight, and then play a killer ball in the box. We all know he can do it.
When he wants to.
When he wants to, absolutely.
When he wants to. Yeah. Because there was I've been a detractor of Sarfo's for a little bit. When the game falls away from Apoel, Sarfo seems to go within himself.
Get lost.
Yeah, it gets a bit lost within himself. I saw it a couple of times last season with the pressing game. But there's a lot of players that we have that can be used and can be used well, and they're going to be very important. There's a few players in there that can still do a massive job for us. Now, because I feel like we've been talking about Abuel for like an hour. So I could talk about them for another hour, especially since...
You've got other news, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got other news because Bob the Builder is going to be busy in the next couple of years, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to be busy.
Exactly. So, Abuel announced a lot of details about their new stadium. So, a press conference was arranged. In attendance, we had the Somadio president, Zivanaris. We had Petridis was there. We had the main investor in the stadium as well, Dino Iordanos. And they've also had this, the project manager for the stadium was spent most of the time talking, this guy called Mikis Ioannou.
Bill Gates was there. John Terry was there in his Chelsea kit.
Yeah. Everybody was there. Everybody was there.
Apart from P. Diddy, he's kind of done the runner. But
no, yeah. I don't think his plane could land in Cyprus on time. But yeah, even Turtlehead Guma was there for some reason. Anyway, I picked up quite a lot of what people were dropping on that presentation. So we've got 70 to 75% of the funding for the current estimated cost of the stadium has been confirmed. And that 30 to 35% of the cost of the stadium will be covered by government funding. And the stadium will cost 35 million euros. For now. I'm just going to leave the for now there because it never costs what they say it's going to cost. Now, the naming rights are up for grabs. That was a big thing that Petridis mentioned. So I'm thinking, Sklavenidis Stadium. Lefteri likes that.
Papa Elmina Stadium, like a little. Yeah. Just pop-up brands, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, all of them. Now, as well, Dino Iordanos, I think, was using the conference, the press conference, not just as we're building this stadium for Abuel, but he was trying to bring in investors who aren't necessarily interested in Abuel as a football club, because he kept mentioning that he was an Abuel fan and that Abuel is at the heart of this. However, this is for all of Lefkosia. This is for all the youth. This is for, and it's not just for the Saturday and the Sunday games. It's a place for people to visit on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as well. That was one of the things he said. They're aiming for the stadium to be a UEFA Criteria 4 stadium with a capacity of 14,669. That's too big. Like I said for Monia, I'm saying it for
I hear that a lot.
It's too big. Stel. But just so people aren't like, oh, he's gonna say it's good enough for Abuel because he's an Abuel fan, and it's too big for Monia because he's an Abuel fan. No, it's too big. Now, one of the things that they did say, however, is that 1,926 of those seats are going to be VIP stuff. So it does mean then that it's the capacity of the stadium for non-VIP is actually 12,000 and something, which is more
realistic.
Yeah, you would expect that the stadium would be at least half full for even if you're playing Othello or Karmiodissa, Let's see, what else have I got here? Oh, yeah.
2,500 VIPs?
No, 1,926. 1926, like the year. VIPs.
Oh,
like the year.
Very clever. Very
Yeah.
clever.
Another thing is well, they're going to be ramming all the away fans into a corner. So rather than giving them, like normally they give
Behind the goal.
Yeah, they give fans in stadiums in Cyprus behind a goal somewhere. They're talking about putting them in just one corner. So that would be an interesting.
Yeah, but since when do we have away fans in Cyprus? Did I miss something? Did the away fans come back? Because last time I checked, 20 people came.
You are correct. There are no away fans allowed at the moment. 50. 25 in the second division.
Yes, sir.
See?
The
Now,
more you know.
Yeah, so 50 fans in the corner. It's fine. It's good for them. But the stadium will be close to the new motorway being built. So it's assuming that the motorway will be done by the time the stadium will be done.
In that point, surprisingly, in Limassol, the road was done pretty fast.
Yes, but
Don't get him started on the road. Don't get him started on the road in Limassol.
It was done pretty fast.
You mean
I used to be there.
Yeah. You mean the motorway?
Yeah.
No, you don't mean the roads, because the roads.
Not the road. The motorway
road.
towards the stadium.
Yeah. Now, as well, the other thing I want to laugh at is that Jordanos wants the road network around the stadium to be robust enough so that everybody can leave within 20 minutes. In Cyprus, leave the stadium in 20 minutes.
You need 20 minutes to get a sandwich from the canteen after the match. You need 20 minutes to find your car. You need 20 minutes to turn the car on because of all the cars surrounding you. How are you going to be after a game?
Exactly. No way that's going to be possible. But anyway,
Thassos, Google Maps is correcting you.
There is Google a highway there already. It's the A9. It's the A9 that goes to Kokkinotrimisia. But if they mean the other one that's going from Yeri, it goes round and comes out, and it's going to come out where Kokkinotrimisia is. Yes. Sorry, Portokalotrimisia, as the meme says. But let's see. The frontages of the stadium will be taken up by shops and stores. Jordanos wants to open sports bars to watch other sports at the stadium, such as the Premier League, NFL, and other stuff. He also mentioned opening up areas of the development for futsal pitches for kids' birthdays. Yeah.
NFL? What about the time difference?
I caught up on that as well. NFL.
He said NFL. Like he specifically said NFL during the press conference.
So, hang about. I know that NFL games in the UK, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight.
Yeah,
so it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning in Cyprus. What, are people going to go to the stadium to watch an NFL game?
Yeah, let's show
no, in the sports bar in the stadium.
What time do bars close in Cyprus?
There are clubs that go pretty late. There are sports that go pretty late.
Yeah,
you can go pretty late. Yeah.
You can have the sports bar there, and then next to it you can have the place where you get the supafko lemony at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I can really see a Boyle fan turning up in their Tampa Bay Bucks shirts. Go Tampa!
After a beer and then after lemony.
Well, what they'll end up doing is they'll end up putting a game that has the Green Bay Packers on just so they can have someone to boo.
Go, Pack, go.
Yeah,
Defense.
Yeah, defense.
We believe that we will win.
No, very good.
So, yeah.
Give me an A. Give me a B.
Give me...
Boy, imagine the Irish cheerleaders in the away stand. What about?
I listen, got given to Adi with those cheerleaders, man. I don't know where they got them from. I don't know where they got them from. But hey, it makes for entertainment. I don't know.
But yeah,
I just hope that none of them have got OnlyFans, because then it's a different story. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, nowadays you can't write anything out, brother. Nothing.
Yeah. If you want, there's the link below.
On Sunday, the NFL games start at 8 and then at 11. Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. You can have NFL at the sports bar at the Sklavenides Arena. But yeah, those were the main things that I picked up. And that it's going to be done by 2028, which that's not happening either, guys. Not unless you start now.
I mean, by 2028, it means it can be done at any time
June.
from now until
June 2028, they said it will be finished. It won't be finished.
When was the initial date they set for the Alpha Mega Stadium? Do you guys remember?
They were a year and a half late. And remember, the roads weren't finished.
I think it was way more than that.
No, they were a year and a half late once they actually put spades in the ground. Yeah. So they started and they said, okay, because we started now, we're going to be finished then. And it ended up being a year and a half later.
Listen, you just know Petridis is going to be there with a hard hat and a shovel to get it done.
Oh yeah. He's gonna they're gonna do the photo op with him starting. He's going to be the first one to put a spade in the ground.
Yeah, not only this, he's going to get mushrooms in the next
orange ribbon.
Yeah, going to have the mushroom like this. Take the first picture. Take a trophy.
We'll be walking around giving the builders mushrooms to speed them up.
Mushroom.
Are you hungry?
So yes, I spoke a lot there. Didn't get anybody else's opinions about what they think about the stadium.
I'll ask our guest.
It's massive. It's massive for Apoel, of course, because they always say, "I don't believe nothing until I see it," even though it's pretty much official by now. Knowing all the situations going on in Apoel and in Cyprus in general, because they take forever to do one simple thing. Until the preparations and everything begins, we still have time, I believe. And for this conversation to be done officially again, we need to see the first pieces of progress, let's say, the first things that get this thing going. We need more time in order to have a clear opinion regarding this. But yes, the initial press conference, the details you just mentioned are massive. I believe the stadium is good enough. I don't think 12,000 proper seats are a lot. Yeah, I agree that games against Athienu, Karmiotis, whoever, might be 5,000-6,000 max. But especially the first years when the stadium opens its doors, I believe that it's going to be full for the first at least 1, 2, 3 years. Because of the hype of the new stadium, let's make it our home, let's make the hell, whatever. Especially, I think, because of the hype, the first 2 years, they are going to fill the arena every game.
I think that's what people were saying about the Omonia ground as well when we were talking about it being too big, is the initial fact that it's going to be an Apoel stadium is going to get people in the stadium. And I can understand that. I just think I keep going back to if thinking about a 15,000 seater stadium. What was it? What did I say last week? If you pro rata that for a team in England, it would mean that they
1.56 of London, something like that.
Yeah, it was 200. I think I said something like 260,000 people. It's small when we think about the numbers, but when you think about the numbers in relation to other places that have the same sorry, it's getting a bit late. I'm losing my blah. If you look at the numbers, you get like 8,000, 12,000, 50,000. These are small stadiums. They're not, though, compared to the rest of the population of the island, But listen, the only way we're going to find out whether or not that stadium gets filled or not is by it being done and people going.
The thing is with building a new stadium for a club in Cyprus, especially now with the economic situation, is a massive risk. It's a massive risk. And, I think it all boils down to how Americanized they can make these stadiums. And it goes back to what we said last week about the new Omonia Stadium. Are they going to have big brand coffee shops within the stadium? So obviously you got the stadium, but then you got the attachment. So are you going to have a mini mall? Are you going to have a sports bar like with Abuel? Are you going to have a McDonald's? And how's that going to affect the area around? Is it going to create more jobs? Is it going to be like a kids play area? So when you take your kids to the game, are you going to want to go there maybe an hour or 2 hours earlier so that they can play for a bit? And then there's so many different factors, but then there's the demand in Cyprus. And I don't think it's just a Cypriot thing. It's obviously a global thing, especially in the UK, whereby when something new happens, everyone wants to go at the same time. Everyone wants to go, and you've got that demand straight away. But then after a year or even less than that, does that demand kind of whittle away because the novelty has kind of worn off? And then obviously what happens on the pitch, because that's the all-important factor. If Abuel and Omonia are in Group B, are the fans going to turn up in their droves because it's a new stadium? I don't think so. And then you've got to factor in other things, which again, we're repeating last week. Ticket prices. Are these going to be affected? Clearly they're going to be. So is the average Abuel fan that perhaps is on, I don't know, $1,000 or $2,000 a month going to say, well, I'm happy to spend 200 euros extra a year for a season ticket? And then are they going to do what like they do in England, whereby you're going to have to pay extra for European games? Because we don't know these things, because once again, we need to factor in who is behind the building of this stadium. You've got an American Cypriot that has been living in the United States for God knows how many years. His mentality is going to be different, clearly, and he's going to have a different mindset. Has he overestimated? Has he underestimated? We don't know these things, but again, we won't know until for another 4 years.
At least. But yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I think, look, with the greatest respect to Omonia and Abuel, the only team that seems to be thinking straight right now is Buffalo, because they've been realistic.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know.
Bob the Builder.
He's going to be busy, man. He's going to come out of retirement.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen. One more thing about the Abuel Stadium is it's a French architect, right, who's looking after it. I'm just going to put this out here. Si vous voulez quelqu'un qui parle en grec aussi pour faire la traduction et pour faire les conceptions, je suis là.
I think they've got translators already there. I think they've already got
I know,
already.
but
I'm typing now, actually. I'm typing now, yeah. Keep going.
Yeah,
give me a job.
Theodoro, Teddy P has got it right here. We don't have the American mentality about the game day. We just want gubes and gundes from the cantina. All right, there you go. Or chocolate orange, as Teddy P keeps banging on about. He wants a chocolate orange. So yeah. I'll have to send him a chocolate orange. Did I tell it? I'm sure I said that they released a twirl chocolate orange for Christmas or Easter.
No, I'm good, thanks.
No. They don't even call them Easter eggs anymore in the UK. You know that? Yeah, they call them gesture eggs because apparently using the word Easter in a Christian country is offensive.
Anyway, right. So we've been going for 2 hours, right?
Yes. Is it time?
Other things? No. He hasn't put anything. I checked. He hasn't put anything tonight. Well, yeah, because there was the international break last week. So it would have.
Surely something should have happened. It's one whole week.
There was third division stuff, but for some reason he hasn't put anything on. There's nothing from Vrionidis today, guys. I apologize. There is nothing from Vrionidis. So, no theme tune today. No theme tune today. Sorry.
Can we just
Not
play?
even Johnny Violence.
Yeah, just play it.
Yeah. Play the theme tune while I see if anything's happened with Garmiodis while we've been.
Okay, well this is not the Vrionidis update. Sorry.
It's time to spin the wheel. What is coming? We don't know. Spin the wheel now.
There you go. Just had to do it.
Yeah.
We've got a guest. We can't not, bring out the big guns,
I love that experience. I was waiting for this moment.
Sorry, man. Vrionidis is a week behind, and nothing this week, guys.
Does that mean that next week we're gonna get double?
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Next week is going to be double. We're gonna
positive as well.
Yeah, well, there you go. We're gonna have Eleftherios on next week as well.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
One thing that has happened though with the Cyprus FA, we're going over 2 hours, so I'm going to try and do it very quickly, is that basically the referees have been complaining about Domenico Messina, who is the current head of the referees of the Cyprus FA. This is according to Supersport FM. So they've been led to believe that with his behavior and choices, he has created a climate of discomfort and feelings of irritation among a large number of referees. So much so that they have requested to contact the president of the FA, Turtlehead, either in a meeting or in writing to convey their concerns and argue for everything they don't like regarding the decisions Messina makes.
Is this document going to be released so we know what the problem is?
It's got something to do with favoritism and erratic behavior, and it's a bunch of bollocks, I think. And basically, what's happening is that the referees are crapping themselves about this CESS investigation and the conclusions from it. And
the 6,000-page document, which seems to have disappeared.
No, different one. This is the one that happened 2 weeks ago. Remember that they just announced out of the blue. Everybody was.
But still not update about the 6,000-page document. No.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that 6,000-page document as well. Apparently, it's got to the point where quite a few referees are threatening to quit refereeing. So next season we might be. Eleftherios not too disappointed with that. We do have. It does mean then that Mario Lugaci is probably going to be refereeing in the first division next season based off.
Oh, great! You want a 7-foot Frankenstein Omonia fan refereeing your games? Lovely. Get him. Yeah, lovely.
Well, one thing.
By the time he reaches 25, he's going to be 12 feet tall. He'll be taller than the bloody stadium, the new one.
One thing's for sure: if he
crane,
says to somebody, "Get up," even if their leg is broken, he's going to get up. So
I saw him in Manchester. I had to look up.
Obviously, the FA put out a statement. Anyway, the Cyprus Football Federation denies today's publication about alleged unrest among the referees and sending an ultimatum as stated in the publication to the president of the CFA, Yorgos Koumas, in relation to the federation's cooperation with the president of the arbitration committee, Domenico Messina. The Cyprus FA evaluates the work carried out by Mr. Messina as positive and intends to discuss with him the renewal of his contract for the next football season as well. At the same time, the Cyprus FA appeals in all directions to safeguard the smooth conduct of a highly competitive championship, both in the first and in the remaining divisions.
The whole situation seems so childish. It's like a high school. It's like a high school president, like, "Oh, he bullied me. Oh no, I didn't." It's pretty much this.
This is Mappa. This is Mappa.
Exactly. Like we thought some good stuff is coming out of this. Like referees have beef with each other, and eventually the president comes. Oh no, the children are right. No need to worry. No need to worry. So
it is what it is. You know, they're gonna have.
I just feel sorry for Constantino Chambouli, the press officer, because he's just sitting there just typing like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
I swear he uses ChatGPT. He must do. He just copies and pastes the previous statements. Like, reword, please.
Yeah, but the Greek version's not called ChatGPT. No, it's called ChatGPT.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here.
And with that lovely joke, there was also the European Under-17s Championship draw.
Yep.
Yeah. So the tournament will be played in Cyprus.
We are participating somewhere.
And look at those groups. Look at those groups. Group D really is Group D, isn't it?
Jesus Christ.
Look at that. And for people listening, Group D is France, Portugal, Spain, and England. Group A, which Cyprus have been drawn in, is Cyprus, Ukraine, Serbia, and Czechia. I think it's not going to be easy, obviously, because this is an elite youth tournament, and the Cyprus youth system is a pile of shite. I'm just going to say it. So it's obviously going to be difficult for them to get out of that group, regardless. But they've got a bit more of a chance than say France, Portugal, Spain, or England.
Do they though?
Well,
personally, I'd like to think that they do, because I support our national teams. I actually do. I like our national teams. But if we are being honest and shooting out there, realistically, we wouldn't even be qualified for those competitions.
Correct.
We wouldn't even reach the qualifications of the qualifiers of those competitions.
Correct.
And you pointed something out now. That Urko Parto, the former goalkeeper of Hapoel and the Cypriot national team.
There you go. Yeah.
And it's a nice transition. And he said something on Twitter that basically he offered to help Hapoel that he was working with at the time, and Cyprus in general, to promote the youth teams, to help build better training facilities for the youth teams. And they have declined. Now we come to a position that our under-17s, bless them, they are playing the European Championships. Well done. We are hosting the competition, but they will still be in there. Again, it's something for Cyprus, for the national team, the kids that will be playing in this tournament, it's something. But it's not something that normal people will go out of their way to see. Even though it should be an event in Cyprus. This should be celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
But no one will bat an eye. Because
although I don't think they'll play 5-4-1.
That's for sure. But the thing is,
3-1. I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, though, who's gonna go watch a game in Peristerona?
Genuinely, I would. Honestly, I would. And that's one fun dance. Well done, me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these stadiums, we should be filling them. We should be filling them for this event because it's being played at the smaller stadiums as well. It's being played at the Lasagi. It's being played at Peristerona. I can't remember the other grounds as well that these games are being played at, but they're being played at the more smaller stadiums. And there should be people filling them. But we'll see. May and June.
Free tickets for non-smokers. It's the way forward.
Well, listen, if they'd arranged it for end of July, I would have gone.
Oh,
but you know,
well, I guess I have to move the competition just for you, Thassos.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so that they can have 2 fans in the stadium.
Kidding. The problem here is if they did it late July, people would die from the sun.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
So I think it's a smart choice to do it May to June, even though it's still gonna be like 300,000, 46 degrees. But it's not gonna be July.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to. I want to look up the stadiums that they're using.
National team should play my hometown, Ayana, but I promise 100 drunken killers will scream in
I
front.
agree with this comment. It has happened before. Something similar. Remember Cyprus playing against Scotland like a few years ago in Scotland? There were like 100 Brits in the Cypriot stand, like celebrating for Cyprus.
Here we go. So they're using some stadiums. We've got the Thasaki. They're not using the Katokopkia Stadium, the Peristerona Stadium. They're using the Thasaki. They're using Amokostos Epistrophi, Antonis Papadopoulos, Aekarina, Limassol Stadium, and Tassos Markou. So they're actually using a couple of big ones as well.
No Magario, no stadium in Nicosia. Come on.
No stadium in Lefkosia.
But why would it? You said Alpha Mega.
Yeah, Alpha Mega.
Of course they're going to use it, Alpha Mega. Of course they're going to use it. They had that massive. They had that massive. I say massive. They had that thing a few months ago.
With Luis Figo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Figo.
Seferin, who said he knew Guma before he knew what Cyprus was. Shut up. Get out of it.
A funny story about that day with guys from FA coming to Cyprus. I have a friend who is a chef at the Four Seasons Hotel in Limassol. And you wouldn't guess in your wildest dreams what the president of PSG wanted to try in Cyprus.
President of PSG?
He was there with Fico. No,
clearly. I know.
Κολοκούθια με τα αυκά. And I'm dead serious.
Listen. Κολοκούθια με τα αυκά is something else, right? Because in Kipro, you have κολοκούθια με αυκά every day, right? But
yeah, because we're Cypriot, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
we are not billionaires.
But no.
4 seasons to eat κολοκούθια with αυκά.
Listen, right? Κολοκούθια με τα αυκά, right? I've tried here. I've tried in England to do κολοκούθια με τα αυκά. I don't know what it is. It's something in the water. Κολοκούθια με τα αυκά only works in Kipro. So yes, go to Four Seasons and have κολοκούθια με τα αυκά, man.
I'm gonna let my pal know. He should expect people now.
He's just upped their customer amount by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Right. Anything else, young man?
No, man. Even if there was anything else, I wouldn't mention it. We've been going for too long.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, thank you, Eleftherios, for joining us, bro. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, boys.
And good luck for the weekend.
Thank you very much. We will need all the luck in the world.
Oh, come on. Believe.
I'm not saying it in a bad way, but football. Without luck, you're going nowhere. Of course. And here's the shirt. 2004 Greek shirt. Right up front. Luck.
There you go. Motivation. Right there.
Motivation. Yes,
That's
sir.
It.
Lovely.
That's it.
Right.
And remember, before we head off, we've got it's up in that corner is NC Network Charity Drive. Remember, guys, we've got an Olympiacos team shirt fully signed by all the team. You know, for your Monia fans, there's Asimenos in there. For your Apoel fans, there's Moreira. There's all kinds of things. Me, I'm like, I want Stefan Baggi. He's going to be. He's
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So, Stefan.
There's a couple of players in the Olympiacos team as well that are going to be big names in Gipro in the next few years.
Yeah, maybe outside Europe as well, man. Maybe outside in Europe.
You never know.
Stranger things have happened.
So be sure.
Yeah.
Be sure to chuck some money at it.
There's the link, the donation link. It's also in the description. And don't forget to email us your receipt. charity@nc-network.com. Fingers crossed in the next few days, nc-network.com, the website will be ready. Fingers crossed. And then we change the game completely, boys and girls.
Again.
Hey,
Trendsetters,
man. What can I tell you? Trendsetters. We do this for bants. Oh, well. Anyway, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. We are on Twitter and Instagram at This Is Mappa. Thassos Instagram and Twitter's down there. Mine Instagram is there. Don't forget to like, subscribe. flescafes.com for all the write-ups if you want to read stuff. And I think that's about. Oh, Eleftherios, what's your Twitter? Eh?
My Twitter. What's my Twitter? Actually, what is it? I think it's like Sherry98PL. Is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sherry98PL. Sherry comes from Sheridan, by the way, who's my favorite player in the history of football. Killian Sheridan. What a guy.
Oh.
So it's Sherry98PL, my Twitter.
Oh, nice. I'll make sure he finds out. What
a legend.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Killian was one of the guys that kindly did a video for us, which you guys like for our so there you go. Right, so that's it, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone that's been commenting. We'll be back next week. So until next time,
bye-bye.